like the News Gazette. They select each and bit, and they piece them together for their identified market leader. So there are two forms that can really make such style of behavior legit. One is that they have built existing agreements with those news providers where they take the lead from, or they are sanctioned by the government. So far as I understand, today's headline has some sort of arrangement with the accuser, which is Soho in this case, and they have already held a sort of press conference to demonstrate that. Although there is no formal agreement, still there are evidences to show that they have a sort of corporate structure through the exchange of email and contracts. So much of it is really related to the rising competitive force of today's headline against the Soho, so that they are using the technical area to fight against competition. Whether this ends for ethical test or it goes for a deeper legal judgment, so much is really dependent on the investigation, so that if they really satisfy the two criteria set forth, then they are free of the sort of accusation and also those compensation raised by the accusers. Otherwise, they are a typical case for infringement, and they have to pay for those commercial gains that have unfairly earned.
Do you think that this commercial gain, which is becoming pretty apparent, has been the major force behind the copyright dispute? Because today's headline has just landed some $100 million in its third round of venture capital funding, and this app is evaluated some $500 million. So that means today's headline application is generating very all these headlines from different news outlets. Do you think that the battle over profits are the main driving force behind this copyright dispute?
Yeah, definitely. I think now some information reveals that there was attempts for further and deeper cooperation between the two. In the end, it fell apart. And now with the added venture capital force, they become quite a threat in the same market. But again, the final test is that are they paying them a fee for using the content, either directly copy or through editing? Do they have a cooperative structure? And also the social customs that is available. For example, there have been a long-term cooperation, and suddenly there was a threat after long silence or silent permission of using their content. All of which is really dependent on the substantial evidence that the plaintiffs have to really provide and prove.
How would you look at the level of legislation in terms of protecting copyright in the media industry? Previously, in radio stations, DJs may play songs or music that has not been approved by the issuers of these music and songs. And in websites, editors may post pictures from some picture galleries, like for instance, without their approval as well. Do you think that these acts may also be something of violation of media copyright? And is there any legal arrangement in China to protect these image providers or music providers?
So this is a very interesting issue. This is really very much a new world of media industry that China is actually a part of almost all the international conventions on the protection of IP, like Berne Convention and the TRIPS under WTO, and China has its own copyright law. So the legal framework is already there, and the essence, no matter it's digital or print, they are the same. So conceptually, the intellectual property is there for the author's lifetime plus additional 50 years. However, philosophically, there is a sort of new consideration we have to bear in mind is that whether the intention of those, either the sender of those, provider of those messages, because many of them are they are eager to spread out their messages, either it's a picture or other intellectual properties. Or, on the other hand, those users, they may download it for their personal use when there is no substantial commercial gain from those downloading or the dissemination. So these can hardly stand the test for intellectual property protection. However, the massive usage for commercial communication based on those able efforts for the institutions that are used to invest in those intellectual properties, so those are really very different stories. So for legislators, the dilemma is that, yes, the digital world provides knowledge sharing, transparency, the world we enjoy so that the world civilization can progress. But in the meantime, they have to preserve the creativity of those authors so that civilization can be created on a more dramatic manner. So how the fine balance, but the game of that is the legislator and also the judges will have to look at the real intention and the process and also the consequence. So for China, the legislation framework is there, but the issue is really public compliance because